next up is the next pillar: be obsessive. Obsessive. That's I think a lot of people equate that with you. You know, Kobe is obsessive in a lot of things. Yeah. We've been doing this for what, 8 years now, Asia tour. You know, I've been with you for a long way. The one moment that stands out of we've done, I don't know how many done. We've done what, 800 events. Mm-hmm. The one time was 4 a.m. We went out to practice at 4 a.m. And that was your idea to do it. But and then, you know, all these Nike people are like, no, let's not do that. And then you're like, let's do it at 4 a.m. So you got security, you got brand marketing, sports marketing going, no, let's not do it. You're like, let's do it. Because that's your obsessiveness, right?
I mean, to me, it just makes complete sense.
Not to us.
But I don't, like, okay, so.
See, all right. Usually, I'm sleeping at 4 a.m. You're working out. So talk about that.
Okay, so if your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, mm-hmm. right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8. Right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4, right? And so now you do that. And as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because they're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
Is that genetic? Or is that something you ingrained and trained yourself?
No, it was
Who
just.
taught you that?
For me, it was just common sense. Like I can if I start earlier, I can train more hours, and I know the other guys aren't doing it because I know what their training schedule is, right? So I know if I do this consistently over time, the gap's just going to widen and widen and widen and widen and widen, and they won't be able to get that back. Mm-hmm. So to me, it was just common sense and like thinking, how can I get an advantage? Oh, start earlier.
The question was actually about work ethic and self-discipline. And so for somebody to work as hard as you do, as long as you do, for as long as you have been, I mean, and you don't stop, how can you work to develop a self-discipline that's just untouchable?
The work ethic's a big thing, man. Beat the sun up, that's one thing, there's not a formula. It's like, what do you have to do to build a work ethic? Beating the sun up, it's just you'll never feel bad because you beat the sun up. I don't care, you can bitch about it the whole morning, all the way up until you finally wake up, and then you're gonna be like, man, I'm sure glad this was awesome. There's something happens before suns come up that is different, the most different part of the day. It makes you feel good about yourself at the end of the day. On victories, I've seen so many people get sucked into their own victories. And because their work ethic's broken, they don't keep working. They're like, oh, pat on the back, I got my deal. Let's go, let's take a vacation. And you see the destruction of these people. Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, he that night he's preparing for the next one. The work ethic is just, of all the top people, are so severe. So should be something, it's a great first question. Could be a whole book.
So I already know that what I'm about to say is gonna make me sound old. I already know that. But what I'm about to tell you is true. Because let me tell you something. Kids today got it way too easy. Hate to tell you this, young people, but yes, you do. You think you doing something, but you really ain't doing a damn thing. Boy, see, I know, because let me tell you something. Back in the day, we had to work. I mean, we really had to work. We was working so hard, we didn't even know we was working. Because everything we did was some damn work. See, back in the day, we didn't have a dishwasher. You know why? Because I was the dishwasher. Tell you something else we didn't have back in the day. We didn't have a remote control. You know why? Because I was the damn remote control. My mom, baby, let me tell you something. My mama would be in the house watching TV. I'm outside playing. Steve! Steve! I run upstairs thinking something wrong. Turn that to channel 2. And since she came through the kitchen, on the way back out, make me a sandwich, cut it into folds, and don't leave them dishes in there dirty like that. I was young, I knew some stuff. I was 9 years old, man. I was baking cakes, making gravy, smothering chicken. I could make macaroni. My ass could cook. Nowadays, kids can't cook. You know why? Because your little ass got Uber Eats. Tell you something else we did back in the day. Probably never heard of this. We folded clothes. We folded clothes. You ever had to fold your grandparents' drawers? Because your grandmama called them bloomers. You ever folded a pair of bloomers before? It's like trying to fold a giant fitted sheet. You don't